Right then, welcome back to Van Helsing. Now, remember on my last recording, we did do two missions, which was mission 8 and number 9. But before we end up doing mission 9, on mission 8, that we end up getting smashed through a brick wall to take us straight towards an area that you might remember from mission 5 that I did do a few recordings back, a long while ago, as well as going towards an area that was with a load of those small midgets that likes to chuck detonators at you, and some sharp wooden things that they can just jab Van Helsing with, as well as in that part of the room that I started at on my last recording in mission 8, that there was a green circle pot that had a cheat in there that I picked up. And that cheat was called let's try and spell it out, which is ARC HAIC, whatever it spells, and also it had another word in there, which is CLOTHES, as well as with that cheat, it had a specific thing for you to do to access it, to do the cheat, what it does. But I had a couple of goes at trying to suss out how to use it and how to actually try and get it to work, but didn't have no luck, as well as had a little research, but basically you had to try and complete it on a specific difficulty, like as an easy difficulty or medium difficulty, and even on hard, whichever one you're on for the first time when you're playing it, and complete it with having the hat on, as well as something else that just didn't make any sense to me, but it's something like that you have to do, as well as with L1 button, as well as when you're loading up the game. It's obviously saying about that you have to hold L1 for a fair few seconds or so before the game will allow you to access it, to allow Van Helsing to look different than usual. So before I did load up the game, what I did do was load it up, and then when the scene turns up for the start of the game, and just hold L2, hold L1, sorry, and hope and pray it'll bring it up for me to show you what it does and how it's allowed Thanos himself to look what he's supposed to look like. But I'm not going to have a guarantee if I have made a success to show you what it is going to be and how he's supposed to look anyway. So also on mission 8, I also picked up a life increaser in mission 8, as well as go down an area with the green pots, which would have had one tipped over, and it would have something in it, which was the ammo that goes to your electricity weapon that you can have in mission 8. If you do pick up the ammo as well as the electric weapon, but you have to pick the electric weapon first and then find the green pots in mission 8 to have one tipped over and find the ammo that goes to that weapon, as well as going through the door that leads back to the exit of the close to the end of mission 8, as well as what I did do was show you where a specific symbol with the cogs and showing you where it was, as well as mention that you can't destroy it once again. So I did that last time, as well as go back up to an elevator that would have took us up to an area with the statues with their own whacking sticks, as well as when you go through the doorway from there, they come alive and they can do a lot of attacking at you. As well as what I did do was show you there was a gate that was ripped off with another one that would have been staying there. As well as I was reminding you that you could go back an area for you to know that you could get an egg from a specific thing for you to do, which was allow the electric weapon to hit a circle with a specific gear system with the chains that could bring a magnifying glass or scope thing to come down. And when you did, you would have found an egg to access a challenge to be unlocked, which would have been challenge 1. As well as that, I did complete it. And you're wondering, what cheat was that? What challenge was it that was involving Nightfall, challenge 1? Well, it was to do with all the statues, as well as get a specific villain or just an enemy. But there wasn't just one, there's a fair few of them, which were the stone flying vampire things. And I said about that you had to try and get those things to smash every single statue from Nightfall and make sure you make a success of completing it, which I did do, which was allowing me to get a cheat. As well as the cheat was spelt to be, I don't know precisely what the word is, but it is DWERGER skin, as well as I did show you where you could get it, as well as how you can make a success of grabbing the cheat. But as long as you've got the skills and the timing and the nerves just about balanced without getting too wound up of not making a success out of it, but it is doable. As well as what I did do was show you about another challenge, which was the maze that was on challenge number 4. And I showed you how you can make a success out of it, as well as how you can fluff up. As well as what I mean by that was that if you went through a wrong purple archway, because there's a fair few of them, and if you go through the right one, you'll be able to go through another set of other ones. And if you go in the wrong one, it'll take you back to the start, but the time will still tick down, as well as it will send an enemy, which would be the whacking dudes or metal guys, but only one with their own whacking stick to hold you up, because once you alerted it, the time will basically hit 0, even if you try and kill the enemy as quick as you can and go through the right ones to get towards the bridge, which where the maze would have said, the challenge 4 would have said, make it cross the bridge. And then once I showed you how to mess up, I did show you how to complete it. But I couldn't show you the cheat because it wouldn't have given it to me, because I've already got it. As well as the cheat you would have got if you did complete it, which would have been GARGOYLE skin. So you would have got all of it if you did complete the maze. As well as I've done a couple of recordings back to show you how to complete it without making a disaster out of it. And also, we have done a couple of goes at challenge 2, which was called Defend the Ring. But on Defend the Ring, I just couldn't complete it. As well as there's a couple of ways I know how to complete it, but we'll have to keep that a secret for now. But also with the Defend the Ring, which is basically a challenge for you to get a cheat, as well as how you complete it is basically stay on the ring without being knocked off with a specific enemy, which would be the owls that can just knock you off. As well as, after all that, I went through a gate with another gate that was ripped off, and then you would have seen a scene with us and me and Anna, as well as 2 carriages with a couple of horses in front of the carriages. And then you would have seen a specific villain, which would have been Dracula's main villain, or villains, as I would call it, which would be a proper vampire. But that's that. But next, we are going to mention about Mission 9, which is what I did, as well as what it would have said from a person that would have read it out for you, which he would have said about to access Castle Dracula, you must find the secret passage to the forest ruins, the vast very same that the hunchback calls his home. And speaking of which, that's where we're heading. As well as when I did Mission 9, you would have seen me have a couple of issues with Dracca's bitches, which was one that was called a demon, and the name of her, which would have been Verona. And basically what she had to do was try and knock Van Helsing's health down, as well as her other villain, which is a friend, which I'll get to her name in a few minutes. As well as when you get knocked off and you haven't really died, you would have found a cheat under a carriage that would have been called something. But before I mention it and what it's called, after I dealt with her, what you would have seen, another scene where she would have gone somewhere, as well as Van Helsing would have looked up and look at Anna, because Anna was there as well, looking at Van Helsing's, because Anna's carriage went straight and Van Helsing's one went towards the right. And then Anna would have said, Van Helsing, what are you doing? And then when Van Helsing looked straight, you saw a carriage heading towards a wooden fence that had the Pacific thing boxed away from somewhere, which would have led to a little gap that would have allowed the carriage to go down somewhere, and where one of Dracca's bitches and another one of her mates of vampires, they just went down and down and down somewhere where the carriage went, and they were wondering about where Frankenstein is. And basically what they were thinking, Frankenstein must be in that carriage, but no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. And so when one of Dracca's bitches opened it, saw something in there, and then basically bit of something went straight for her chest and somewhere else, and she died. And one of the bitches remains alive, as well as Van Helsing jumped on Anna's carriage and basically had a nice little ride until Dracula smashed straight through a tree to make a tree trunk, allow the tree to tumble over, and then you would have seen a scene that the horses jumped over the carriage, but the carriage didn't. And basically you would have seen that the remaining Dracca's bitch would have took Anna, and Dracula would have took Frankenstein, and then Velgen the Wolf took Van Helsing, which was the last villain that I killed on my last recording. As well as you would have seen Frankenstein, and you would have seen the cheat that I did pick up, which was called Shadow Friend. And I did show you where the cheat was, which is underneath the carriage, after I killed one of Dracca's bitches, as well as show you what the Shadow Friend did to Velgen, which was my plan. And I showed you what happens to him when you pick up the cheat, as well as when you saw me use the cheat, which was Shadow Friend. So yeah, that was that. And then after I died once, and then you would have seen a scene when I finished Felgen off. You would have seen Felgen turn into a Welf and bite Van Helsing, which was very naughty. And when I finished mission 9, I also brought 2 life REPLENISHL, which would have allowed me to use those to top my health, or top Van Helsing's health all the way back up, which is what those things can do. And last of all, before I ended the video, the recording, you would have seen mission 10 pop up, where it would have said, "Remember, my son, it is the hunchback Egot who holds the key to Dracula's castle. Destroy him, and the key is yours," is what the guy would have said. And then, basically, I left the recording, and then we are starting here today. So, this is what I have got in store for you today. Right, so all that time chain, so I'm sorry about that, but I had to do some reminding for you. So here we go. Right, so we're going to press the continue button with the X button on the PS2 controller, because that's what I'm using. But we're hoping and praying this game will go on PS4 or PS5. But who bloody knows? But still, it should be remastered back together, just like the Tomb Raider games, but we're not doing Tomb Raider. So yeah, press continue, and then you were seeing this little brick thing go up when the speech was finished, with a guy reading all the details about it. And so, oh, hang on, the cheat has worked. We have the cheat. Now, if you look very carefully of what Van Helsing looks like, now this cheat that's making Van Helsing look like this, you wonder which one's that? Well, that one is called ARCHAIC and CLOTHES. That's the one that's working. So now, with that one, and what I mentioned before was that I started the game and loaded it up, and get the scenes to turn up and hold L1 until the scene finished. And then the cheat of the ARCHAIC and of course CLTHES starts, even though the box has not been ticked that you can't see. So, like I said, if you find the cheat in the little green pot in Mission 8 that you saw me pick up on my last recording, and then when I mentioned about when I've just turned the console on and load the game and hold L1 until the scene finishes, and then go straight towards continue that I have just done with the scene that you would have saw that brick wall thing go up, and the cheat will be on, even though the box should be ticked, but I don't see why it's not. But yeah, it is there, it is working. So there you go, now you can see. Okay, so what we'll do first, go down these steps and show you first and look like this. How cool is that? I'm not sure if you can see it perfectly, but it is there. Okay, so this thing in the middle, this purple thing that's poking up, that is the ammo that goes to these whacking sticks So the cheat, this thing on the top of this little platform that I'm going to try and stand on. Here we go. So you can see the whacking sticks. And that thing that I'm standing on is the ammo that goes to these. So you want to press the triangle. And as it says, upgrade on there. As well as what I'm going to do is try and hope and pray that I can stay alive. And give you a proper show what that cheat that I have picked up a long while ago on my last recording. So yeah, that's my plan. So yeah, so there's the whacking sticks and the ammo, which will allow these things, but there wasn't enough ammo. But yeah, right, so what I'm going to do next is hold R1. Now if you look closely where the red bar is, look how high that is reached at the minute. So you wonder why and how do you get it up that high? Well, what you got to do is find loads and loads of life increases in any mission, because when you pick up one, the health bar will be the same until you find another. As well as there are 15 black squares for that. As well as there will be 5 others for you to fill up unless you buy some life increases in Armory. But that's all we're going to say for now. As well as when you get up these steps, you'll find a little hole. And you find this scene, you write it with this, another one of these to go up. As well as you might recognise this area. And of course you've got some bats. But also, when you kill these bats, they will give you a green or a red God symbol. And also, if you look closely, that there is a light blue bar. So I can try and hope and pray I can keep my life up. As well as try to fall off the edge, which is my plan at the minute. Okay, right, so first we will get up here and try and grab these bits that fell down, because with the thing with those, they will stay there for a few seconds before they will start flashing, and when they're flashing, we've got a few more seconds before they disappear. Okay, so you want to keep an eye on where those are. Right, so don't forget that there was a tree trunk in mission 3 for you to smash, so you can do those again. Also there's a stone one there, as well as a couple more tree trunks back in a mission 10 from mission 3 for you to smash. And also another one down here. And also, if you look closely now, you can have a proper look at what Van Helsing looks like at the minute. So yeah, so like I said, when you load the game up, when the scene turns up, hold L1 for a fair few seconds until it finishes, and then this will happen as long as you pick up the cheat. As well as, don't forget this little area in mission 3 with a life increaser, which was with a windmill, or not a windmill, a little cog that turns clockwise upwards in the water, with a building that had a window but with a stone wooden thing in its window, where you can use the shotgun and blow that off. And when you do, you would have found a life increaser in there. As well as, if you don't shoot the wooden thing from the window and you didn't pick the life increaser up and you came from it and you finished mission 3 and you get down this area in mission 10, what will happen when you go over it, some words will pop up to say wrong way, you got to save Anna. So yeah, if you don't pick up the life increaser in the window, as well as a couple of other things in mission 2 and 3, you can't go back that way. Or any other way with any areas you've already been in. Okay, so make sure you do all that. Okay, right, next what you want to do is get up it with R1 and triangle. Also, next of all, if you look closely on the right with the weapons I've got on the right here, with all of these ones here. Now with the light blue bar that's there are 5 black squares in there. Now with the 5 black squares, you can get those filled up in blue unless you buy a specific thing. And the name for this light blue bar is ammo. Ammo increases what you can buy in armory, but yeah, the light blue bar is your ammo, which can do a load of damage to your enemies, whichever weapon that you have got, as well as when you find the ammo that goes to these weapons that you have. As well as, like I said, with the red bar, it would have been the same size as the light blue bar when you first start the game on a difficulty. When it's your first try of playing it, it'll be the same size as the light blue bar. And the only way you can get that red bar to a nice size that I did have, even though it's gone all the way close to going down to the very end, but it's not quite all the way down yet. And so you have to find some life increasers in specific missions, whichever mission you're in. Find one life increaser and find another for one of those black squares to be filled up in red. Okay, so as long as you find 2 of those, one of those black squares will be available for the red bar to be reached up to another size that you want it to be a bit more bigger than just a little bit like the blue bar. Okay, that's how you can do that. Next, R1 and triangle. So you want to pull yourself up, and when you go over it, back into this area that you might recognise now. So can you remember this area that might look familiar? Yeah, so you'll be back here now. Right, also don't forget the shotgun with this tree trunk you can use to blow it off, as well as, before I go any further, have a look in the centre of the screen there. Can you remember what's there? Yeah, if you can't remember, well, what there is some stone statues. Now, if you remember on mission 3, that I said they won't be alive, but something else would turn up, which would have been the ghostly bitches, the ghostly ones that screams, as well as go, oh, oh, and they go like that all the time, as well as when they spin around and bring a load of wind. Don't forget they did that. But this time, when you move ahead a bit more, if you look closely on the left side there, Do you know what's going to happen? Yeah, they're going to come alive. So they've got their own whacking sticks and serve you. So you can whack them. Now the way to do that is circle and keep using it. Also, what you want to do is use the R1 button and keep that pushed in, which is your accuracy, which is what it's supposed to be. So your accuracy, with all the weapons you've got, keep that pushed in. And if you want to use the swords or the whacking sticks, just keep pushing the circle in and out constantly. But with the other weapons, like the shotgun, pistols, the crossbow and the electricity weapon, keep that square button pushed in. That's how you can use all weapons. As well as the tree trunks that you might remember, they'll be back again for you to smash and just basically destroy them. And once you've done all that, also I knew there was a tree trunk somewhere, so I did that. As well as if you look close to you with a symbol that's by this square shaped thing, you might remember it, which is over here. You're thinking, oh yeah, I remember. Didn't you say that you couldn't destroy it? I certainly did say that. As well as you're all wondering, or you're probably saying, can you destroy that? And what the fuck is in there? Well, you'll be glad to know that you can destroy it. Now you're wondering, how the fuck do we do that? Well, the only way you can do that is use a weapon. You wonder, which one is that then? Well, what you want to do is get the crossbow out. Hold L1. Not L1. Hold L2, sorry. And if you've got the pistols, hold L2 and push the down D-pad button 2 times. Or use the L3 and push that down 2 times to go to the crossbow. And then let go of L2. But also what you can do, if you've got the pistols, you can use the right D-pad button and push that 3 times. And then you'll get it out. So whichever control layout that you're using, make sure you're using any of those buttons. As well as what you want to do is get the ammo with the crossbow and press the square and push the square and shoot it off. And also you want to push the L1 button again to turn off the ammo, which is the light blue bar. Because if you're pushing the L1 button and you're just pushing the square once and you're just moving around without pushing the L1 again, you'll waste it. But also, what is in this thing when you blow that thing off? It's a cheat. So grab that. Now, press the triangle to pick it up. As well as, you're wondering, what cheat is that? Well, which one is it going to be? Well, first of all, you want to press the start button and go into INVENTORY and press the X. And then you'll find items, weapons, moves, and cheats. That's what's there. As well as, you can do it the awkward way to get to the cheats. And what I mean by that is push L3 towards the right 3 times. Or use the right D-pad button 3 times. But also you can do it the easy way. Push L3 once. Or push the left D-pad button once. As well as, you want it, which cheat is that we have now seen that I have picked up? Well, the one that you might be able to know which one that I have picked up, which is this one right here, metal body. Now, metal body, you might remember that there was a specific one like this I picked up a long while ago. as well as you might remember what metal means. If you know what metal means, that's fantastic, as well as it has got body in there. So you're wondering, whose body is that? Well, what it is, once I have hope and prayed that the cheat that I have got on at the minute, even though the box should have been ticked, but it's not. So I'm hoping and praying that it will still allow me to keep the cheat. But I doubt it. But we'll find out. But still, you want to know what metal body does? Well, you're about to find out. There you go. Look at that. You can make Van Helsing look like metal. And that is what you call a freaking good cheat. But it is a cheat. And it's more like cheating up against some enemies that can smash you, but not quite smash you to pieces, with knocking your health down as quick as they can. Because if you've got the cheat, well, your health's not going to go quite far down as you might think. As well as they can't knock your health down as much. But also, if you have not got the cheat, you'll know where you find it. As well as there it is. There's the treat. As well as, I think that's all we are going to show you for now with that cheat. So I'm going to hope and pray that the cheat I have showed you, which was the one where you managed to see Van Helsing look quite different. When I used the cheat with the ARCHAIC and of course the ALOTHES by loading the game up and get the scene to start and hold L1 for a fair few seconds to get the game to be set up ready for you to see it. And that's how you can get the cheat to work, apparently. So there's that for you sorted. So now I'm going to hope and pray that he'll look exactly how he should be with that cheat that I have picked up on my last recording. And it seems to work, so he's still the same as he is. So, when you go in this area, you might want to get the shotgun out. You'll find these owls, which can kick the shit out of you. Also, you might remember this area, as well as don't piss me off. Oh, well, that sheet's definitely off now. But also what I'm going to do is hold L1 for a fair few more seconds for it to load up. And we should have Van Helsing to look exactly how he should be from the cheat that was picked up in Mission 8, as well as load the game up to make him look like what he is. And it seems like it's worked. So we still got that. As well as I'm hoping praying the box is going to be ticked, but nope, it's weird. It's weird how it doesn't have the box ticked. But I don't think it makes any difference now. Also now he's smoking battery. So if we die, we'll have different enemies. So if you've got these smoking bats, what you want to do is avoid them when they're smoking on the ground, when they're dead. Because if you're walking towards them, they're just going to knock your health down, basically. Also with these red ones on the floor, they can top your health bar back up, as well as the green ones. Those things are basically allow yourself to buy things for whatever thing you want to buy. As well as, once these are dead, I'll show you what's going to happen next very soon. Also, with a shotgun, you can make these things go backwards. And just not to knock your health out. As well as when these things shoots an arrow or whatever thing it is, what you want to do is move Van Arsene towards the left or right or backwards. Well, not backwards. Towards the left or right with L3, towards the left or right. Depends on what angle Van Arsene is. I just move Van Arsene to a specific angle and then you can get away with it. Also, if you want to go for a different back or whatever enemy. Oh, didn't mean to walk into that. Sorry, Van Arsene. And basically push the R1 and let go of it and push it again to switch to a different enemy you're up against, which will be the same kind of one. Doesn't matter whichever one it is. As well as, don't forget, there would have been just give us a second, I'm hoping the brain I don't fall off. Also with this orange thing that's on the corner, don't forget there would have been a cheat over there, which would have been called, just trying to remember without going straight through the list, but I'm already going down there to do it anyway. And the cheat up there where that thing was, which would have been the plain world. So the plain world would have been up by that orange symbol that's laying over there at the minute. So yeah, don't forget that if you haven't picked it up already, because if you haven't picked it up, it will still be there until you reach mission 10, like I am. And also now, what I'm going to do is go through here, because that's the way you want to go, as well as show you the cheat, what it actually looks like. Look at him look like that. And yeah, here goes the one we're defeating.
You're too kind, my friend. Everyone wishes they'd seen the last of me. Take the Valerians.
And that thing he's got there is the key.
Like you, they show me far too little respect.
Oh, come on. It's not that I don't respect you, Igor. It's just I don't like you.
I know why you're here. That helps me. You're here for the portal. Well, you can forget it, Monster Hunter. It belongs to me. I decide who visits the Master.
The Master's time is over. And so is yours.
Oh, I think not. Tonight, his children live.
Dun dun dun. Right, so first of all, what you want to do is possibly smash some barrels and boxes to get some green or red for your health to go back up if it's generous to do that. But that's what I was after, try and get some red, but nope. It wanted to give me some green. Right, now what you want to do is get the electricity weapon. That is the best weapon you want to use to just basically make him fall off to where he is and just knock his health down, basically. Now what you'll do is apparate different places, just like the Harry Potter films where Dumbledore and one other person uses apparition. I'm trying to get his name, but it's not coming to me yet. But yeah, still need to just keep using square and keep the R1 in, so you can just keep the accuracy to just keep aiming at whatever enemy you're up against and just kick the fucking shit out of them. Just keep going until eventually the health goes all the way down, basically. But also when you're using this weapon, Van Helsing will put himself backwards. So what you want to do is just keep doing a couple of jumps ahead, as in forward, and you'll be all good. Also, like I said about the hat, if it falls off, make sure you pick it up. And the reason why is because you might get something. But I'm not getting it. Because on mission 5, and another mission, which must have been mission 9. And just didn't pick it up. Basically. Especially number 9. I didn't even pick it up. But with mission 5, I lost it. It fell off. And managed to make Van Helsing die. So that was my mistake. To fuck up like that. But like I said, on mission 10, on hard difficulty next time, I'm hoping and pray that I don't do it again. So that's the plan. And now this time, Eagle's dead. So they're all going down. Look at that. Nice outfit.
Point it here. Our cause has always been one and the same. My old
Now that's Valerius that's talking,
What cause is that?
Do
which,
you
which is
not
over there.
remember?
And he's a ghost. So he can't die. And there's the key that he's using.
Well done, Gabriel.
You too call me Gabriel.
I call you by your name. Time runs short. Go. Destroy the vampire before it's too late.
Yeah. Van Helsing, you word him. So there you go, there's mission 10 done. With also the outfit that you can use when you've grabbed the cheat and basically load up the game. Without just do what I did last time. Which was basically continue and then just find the cheat and press the cheat button with a box that was ticked around it, and because it just didn't freaking work. So yeah, right then, so you got mission 9, that mission 10 complete with 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Best kill, there are only number 11, which is right there, as well as we've got shots fired, which involves the pistols, the shotgun, the crossbow, and the electricity weapon that you use, which has got up to 224. Not too bad at all. Also, that thing's going off, but just ignore that. As well as MELEE hits, which is to do with the whacking sticks or the saws that you use. We have the circle button, which we've got 149. Damage taken, which is the enemies that whacks Van Helsing in whichever way. And we've only had 320. And part GLYPHS, we've got 13,901. Now what that is the green stuff that you pick up. Whichever kind of amount that you can collect when you're getting Van Helsing just to stand by one. Sometimes it doesn't always just give you one. Sometimes it might give you 5. Might give you 3, it might give you 10. It depends on how generous the game wants to be. As well as finish with hat on, yes, which is what you want on every mission there is. Because if you don't, you're not getting a specific thing. I'm not going to mention it to you at the moment. As well as enemies killed, of how many I've killed, we've only done 25 of those. How about that? Okay, right. Now, we have got Armory and Continue. Now, you can continue on the next mission, which would be having the Continue word in white, which is what you can do if you really want to. As well as what I'm going to do is go into Armory and keep the white on top of Armory and press the X button, because what I'm going to do is explain a couple of things. Okay, so first of all, we have got Life Increaser that is up to 1000. As well as, I'm going to move on, which is Life REPLENISH up. As well as, next, you've got Ammo Increaser that is 1000. Now, with the Life Increaser and Ammo Increaser, as you can see, both of those are 1000. Now, when you buy one of these two, the price will go up, as well as they both will have the same prices whenever you buy one. As well as you're wondering, what are the prices for these two? Ammo Increaser and Life Increaser. Well, the prices are 1000, as you can see. But before I go any further, there are 5 of these things you can buy. Any of these two, and you can buy 5 of each one of these two whenever you want and however you want. So the prices are 1000, as you can see, 1500. Another one will be 2000. Another one will be 2500. And the last one will be 3000. As well as the Ammo Increaser will allow the light blue bar to be bigger, with the only 5 black squares that would be there for you to start off with. As well as whenever you want to allow one of the 5 black squares to be filled up in blue. But with the Life Increaser, as well as you were seeing my red bar to be a nice massive size. And as I said, that you could basically have 15 black squares in the game. As well as you can buy 5 Life Increasers, as well as you would have had only 10 black squares left. And as I said before, you need to find 2 Life Increasers in a mission. Any mission that you're in. And just make sure you just find 2 of them for one of those black squares to be filled up in red. And when you buy a Life Increaser, whenever you want, one of those black squares will be filled up in red. Instead, keep finding 2 of them in any mission that you want. So there's that for you. So, with the Life REPLENISH up, that is 500. As well as what this will do, will allow your health to go back up to the size you did have. As well as you have got Ammo REPLENISH up, that is 500 as well. As well as what this will do is allow the light blue bar to go back up to the size that you did have. But the only reason why that is more darker than the other three I have read about is because I have got a specific number of how many that you can carry. I'm not going to get to that in a moment. Not yet. Next of all, you've got speed boost. Now that's up to 800, and the reason why that is darker, just like the just like the ammo RP, including just like the ammo REPLEN I said up, is because because I've got a specific number of them. Now you wondered, how many can you only carry? With when you're saying about there's a specific number I have got. Well, the number is 3. 3 of them. As well as with the life REPLEN I said up. The reason why that is not darker than the others is because I've got less than those 2. And the number is 3. So 3 speed boosts, 3 ammo REPLEN I said up, and 3 life REPLEN I said up for me to carry. But I've got less than 3 for life REPLEN I said up. As well as with the speed boost, you want it. Why the fuck is that up to 800? Well, the reason why is because you have got some speed boost, which is involving the speed of Van Helsing to run fast, as well as the weapons that can go fast. It involves every single weapon, as well as it has got 20 seconds for you to do all that. Now that is why that is up to 800. As once again, don't forget, I did say that you can only carry 3. As well as with those 3 things, you can also find any of those 3 anywhere, and you can pick those up without even paying for flicking 800 or 500 for any of those bloody 3 things. How about that? So yeah, if you don't want to spend 800 for one of these, well, just make sure you hope and pray that you can find one, which is fantastic. Also, next of all, you've got Dodge Fire, which has been sold out, as well as what this will be involving is the pistols, the shotgun, and the crossbow to do 2 bangs. So, you wonder how the fuck do you do that? Well, first of all, you got to pay for it, and you're wondering what is the price for that, as it says sold out. Well, it is 1,500 for that thing, and basically how you do that is hold the R1, which is the axis, and hold the square. But before you do that, push the X and square together and push L3 towards the left or right to roll left or right, and then each one of those 3 weapons will go bang bang, or pss, pss, with the crossbow that does that kind of thing, or something else. As well as you can do a back roll as well for those things to go bang bang, or pss, pss. As well as when you're pushing the L3 down to do a back roll, it's more like a show off of doing a nice little roll or a somersault, which has gone down the gym far too much to do that kind of thing. Yeah, if you want to pay for 1,500 for that kind of fantastic stunt for you to do with the weapons to go bang bang, then go ahead. Next of all, you've got Grapple Strike that has been paid for, which is worth 500 if you want it. As well as when you don't pay for this thing, you can see in the picture, it will just pull enemies towards you. But when you do pay for 500 for this thing, it will allow some enemies, or pretty much every single enemy, to flicking take a bit of pain. So you can hurt them with this weapon. As long as you pay for 500, then go ahead. Next of all, you've got Grand Strike. It is for the swords, and it is 1,500 as well, just like the dodge fob. As well as it's the swords, and it's going to ask you to hold R1 and push forward, which is involving the L3 up. And of course, perform the swords, which is the circle button that's going to ask you to do. And of course, it's going to perform a nice attack. So don't forget, perform a MELEE attack, which is the name of the swords. And of course, to strike and sometimes pop enemies that have fallen on the ground, which is what it can do. So there you go. There's that. Next we got 2 Joe Fire. That is 2,000 this time for the swords, as well as hold your 2 Joe attack, which is the circle button, is what it's asking, to flying your 2 Joe BLADES, whatever it's supposed to be, at opponents. I'm pretty sure that's what OPPONENTS is about to be for. As well as next of all, you've got Air Hop, which is worth 1,000. Also is for the swords again. After holding Air Strike attack button, which is the circle button, to rise into the air, press a DIRECTON, whatever it's supposed to be, and tap X to jump on thin air, which is what Van Helsing can do. How about that? Next of all, you've got the swords, the whacking sticks, as well as it's got the name of it, which is SCIMITARS, as well as it's going to say swing, so you can make these things swing around. But you wonder, how do you access that? Well, what you have to do first is pay for Grand Strike, which is worth 1,500 first of all, and then once you pay for it, there's a reason why it's going to say after a Grand Strike, hold R1, which is the accuracy, push forward, which is L3 up, which is what it's asking, and attack with the weapons, where it's going to say the SCIMITARS, of course, to perform a spinning, so you can make these things swing. And of course, the name of it, we're just going to have the SCIMITAR attack, so you're going to make this weapon swing to attack enemies, which is fantastic. As long as you pay for 1,500 for the Grand Strike first, and then pay for this for 1,000. How about that? Next of all, you've got the swords again, which is the name of it, MELEE, and including this time explosion. I'm pretty sure that's what EXPLOSION is supposed to be, and it's 2,000 by the way. Yeah, so that's for the swords. As well as what it can do is a ring of ice or fire explodes. EXPLODES is what it's probably spelling to be. From the last hit of your ALTERNATE. I'm pretty sure that's to do with one of the cheats that you have to use to access that thing, but I could be wrong. As well, it's going to say ammo, which is the light blue bar it's asking for you to use, and of course the name of it, MELEE, and of course some nice combos with those things. How about that? And last of all, which is finisher slot, which has been sold out, as well as with the finisher slot, which is to do with the yellow things that would have been underneath the health bar you was seen a long while ago, but I didn't use. And basically what these will do was basically allow you to knock some enemy's health down a bit, like Igor for example, and some other enemies like the owls and the stone statues and the bats, all those kind of other ones that's around. You can knock their health all the way down. How about that? As well as you can buy 2 of those, because when you start the game, you'll have 3 to start off with, and also you can buy 2 more. So you wonder, what are the prices for them things? Well, when you buy one for the first time, it will be 2,500, and the last one, for you to have 5 in total, it will be 3,500, which is a bit of a rip-off, but that's how the game plays. So there you go. And last of all, I would have some ideas for you to do, which is probably going to be to do with paying for ammo increaser. You might want to buy at least about maybe 2 or 3 if you want, but I'm going to pay for 2. But don't forget, like I said, price will go up, which would be 1,000 for a start, 1,500 as you can see, and another one will be 2,000. I'm tempted to say myself, do I just buy one? Tempted to say just buy flicking one, but I don't know if I should flick and get another. Because also I've got another idea up my sleeve. But do I really need it? Can I do it? Can I do it with just one of those? Probably not. Yeah, it's tricky. Press that X. Because it will take some time. Yeah, why not? Why not? Got plenty of it. And I think that'll be fine. Right, so that is it. And of course, we're going to get a guy to read some information on our next mission. And then once he's finished his talking, we're going to leave it here for today. So here we go. Mission 11 is required for the next time.
You must breach the black tower of Dracula's castle and its narrow bridge. For this is the one and only way to the vampire's coveted throne.
Dun dun dun. So there you go. You must reach the black tower of Dracula's castle. That's where we're heading next time, but we're going to have to leave it for today, as well as where it's going to say the one and only way to the vampire's coveted throne. Yeah, there you go. So, I probably would have said I might stick to get Valson to look exactly how he is, instead of making him look like the way you've seen him look like today. Yeah, don't forget what I just said about when you pick up the cheat. That was the ARCHAIC, and of course CLOTHES. And of course, when you load the game up, and just before you start the game, make sure you just hold the L1 button in until the scene finishes, and then let go of it, and it should bring up the nice outfit that he can wear. How about that? So yeah, that's it. So before I finish it, That's what it looked like that for now. And then he's going to look up, and that's quite a flicking eye, don't you think? So yeah, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall catch you on the next one, sooner or later. Take care.